Hey guys, so we've just come off the back of the IMBA Queensland titles. So we spent the entire weekend up at Brisbane watching all of our team compete, from our bikini girls all the way through to our overall bodybuilders. So everything in between that, which was a huge, massive show. We had such an amazing team backstage and on stage. We just couldn't have asked for a better weekend with better results. Everyone just put 110% in, and it really, really did show. There's a couple of things that, whilst at the comp, I personally noticed and that I wanted to have a little bit more of a discussion about, because I feel like there are a lot of myths when it comes to comp prep. So all of our bodybuilder boys here prep for a comp were around 26 weeks, not just 6 weeks and then up on stage. So the reason behind that is A, better results, and B, that means that they are able to get into better condition without having to drop their calories and without having to do ridiculous amounts of cardio to get on stage. Now the bodybuilders that I'm talking about, so for example like Zach and Brandon and things like that, they are super lean. Like, there is no body fat on them at all. This is definitely not a maintainable physique at the moment for bodybuilders to be that low year round. That is a peak time. They will hold that now for about 6 weeks until the end of the season, and that's it. Then they will start reverse dieting back out, which I'll talk about in a little bit later. For myself as a fitness model, I stay at this body fat year round. I'm not that low. I don't have to get that low. For a bodybuilder to be in condition, it is a lot less than what a fitness model is. And that's why they prep for that long, to make sure that it's done in the most healthiest way possible, and they're still eating enough food to be able to sustain their energy. And the boys are still working full time as well, so that's something that needs to obviously come into factor. They're not pro athletes to be able to just train and that's it. They have to work. So there's so many factors which come into play when you are a bodybuilder. So we always ask that anyone that wants to prep with us, it's a 20-week minimum prep. The longer, the better. The better the results, the healthier it is, the more achievable it is, and the easier it'll be. So the longer, the better. So if somebody says to you, we'll prep for 6 weeks, I would not be doing that. That's going to be just bad. So I had somebody ask me as well how they're seeing so many fitness models that have been dieting down that are sitting at really, really low unhealthy calories in order to get onto stage. When I eat a lot of food, how come I can do it? So there's a few different reasons behind that. A, education. I've got Nath behind me, so the education is next level. What I'm eating at the moment, I eat clean, I train, I've consistently weight trained now for nearly 6 years. That's a huge amount of my life, weight training, and again, it is my life. So it's not a quick fix, and a lot of these girls that are competing have only been training for 6 months, which means that they don't have as much muscle as what I do. More muscle, better metabolic capacity. So that's why. Now, when I was backstage, I noticed quite a few differences between our team and everyone else. So there's a few key factors that I wanted to discuss today, which just, it astounded me that there's so much information out there now, and there's so many amazing people that are promoting health and wellness overall, that there weren't more people sort of monitoring what they were doing. So key number one was, when they line everyone up backstage, you're in a line, and all of our competitors were drinking. Why? So everyone else around them were water depleted. So they hadn't been drinking water for about 12 to 24 hours, dehydrated to the max. Now, the reason behind why our clients always drink water before they get on stage is that they've carb loaded. In order to get carbs into the muscles, you have to have water. So I don't understand what the theory is behind it. Well, I do, but that's another topic. We're not going to discuss that today. So water was something that we definitely were pushing into our clients. Salt, another thing. Everyone else had sodium depleted, which, yep, again. And then the other key factor was that a lot of people had been prepped by a coach for 12 weeks, however many weeks they've been prepping for to get to this day, but they didn't have a comp day plan. So they had nothing. So get a tan, get some makeup, put a bikini on, that was all they were given. And a lot of people were backstage pigging out. I don't know how else to say it. Donuts upon donuts, pizza upon pizza before getting on stage, because that's a carb up. Bags of lollies. And then they were getting on stage and they were bloated and they couldn't understand why. With our guys, everything was done to a plan, to a 10-minute point. So if they were on stage in 2 hours, they had a lead up to that. Every single moment of their day was planned out. It wasn't just guessed, it was done from previous experience, results, tracked, proven, 100% guaranteed results, because everything had been planned out and measured. So backstage was really interesting because all of our team had scales. So they were weighing everything out before eating it, and everyone was sort of looking at them like, what are they doing? Because everything's tracked. So if you haven't eaten a certain food for 20 weeks or 26 weeks, which nearly 6 months, that's a long time to not eat something, and then on comp day you suddenly eat it, your body is going to think, what is that? And react. So you may be bloated on stage, you're not going to know that. So why would you suddenly try and carb up with something that you hadn't eaten in so long to get into the best shape of your life? The other thing is as well is that if you maybe are trying a new thing or trying a different prep or a peak week lead-in, you should have practiced that a couple of weeks beforehand to see how your body reacted. So comp day, you've worked so hard to get there. It's not something that you really want to play around with or mess up. So I found it really interesting that our team were the only ones drinking water, having salt, and actually weighing out their foods, which was a planned, forecasted measurement for their bodies. So I'm really proud of our team, and our results showed on stage. And I found it really amazing that from a crowd's perspective, looking on the stage, that you could tell who was prepped by Team Hold Your Own, because the bodies really just shined on stage. The quality of our athletes just was next level. It was beyond amazing. Since the weekend, so it's Tuesday today, since the weekend, we have been flooded with inquiries for comp prep, and at the moment we are on a waiting list. We cannot take any more clients at the moment. Every single one of our coaches are just back to back to back, and unfortunately for now we're going to have to just put the brakes on, because we don't want too many athletes that we can't handle and cope, and make sure that all of our athletes are given enough time with our coaches. So it's an amazing problem to have, and we're incredibly proud and blessed, and so thankful for all of your support. So thank you guys, and I'll make sure that I'll grab one of the coaches and I'll hopefully try and nail down Nath for a chat as well about a few more protocols and things to do with comp prep, because I know that there are a couple of people out there interested. So please make sure that you do let me know on Instagram and Facebook whether that is of interest to you, and I'll try my hardest to grab the boys.